Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay.
Frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your act?
Kevin Hart is firing back at Katt Williams after Katt's bombshell interview with Shannon Sharpe, where he exposed Kevin's alleged gay affairs with Illuminati elites. In an ex-post, Kevin called Katt angry, saying he ought to let go of his anger one way or another, but that was after Katt sat down with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay and called out elites in the comedy industry for not being funny and taking shortcuts to get to the top. He also called out Kevin Hart and others for keeping, selling their souls, and engaging in gay rituals for fame. Katt's scathing remarks sparked controversy on social media, and many of the comics he called out have fired back at him, calling him an attention seeker. But Kevin's response is the most interesting, because Katt and Kevin have been at each other's throats for decades. But what exactly did Katt say about Kevin's alleged gay affairs? And how did Kevin respond to the whole thing? Let's break it down.
You know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
Katt Williams recently sat down with Shannon Sharpe for an episode of the podcast series Club Shay, and his comments in that interview have the entire comedy industry shaking in their boots, as it now has almost 40 million views. In the interview, Katt called out comedians for buying their way to the top either through selling their souls or stepping on others to get ahead in typical Katt Williams fashion. No one was safe from catching strays when he started going off, and Katt basically drew a battle line with the entire comedy industry. He called out everyone from Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey to Ricky Smiley, Cedric, the Entertainer, and Faison for lacking comedy talent. He also called them lazy and unfunny, saying these guys took shortcuts to get to where they are in their respective careers. One of the first comedians Katt called out was Ricky Smiley, and he had a lot to say about him. Katt exposed Ricky as a liar, saying he had no acting talent. Katt, beef with Ricky started because Ricky claimed he was initially cast for the role of Money, Mike, which Katt pointed out was an outright lie. For context, Friday After Next is a comedy drama featuring many comedians including Katt, who played the role of Money, Mike. Now, according to Katt, he had an issue with the initial movie script, because it contained a scene where Money Mike got essayed in the bathroom, which Katt felt was unnecessary for a supposed comedy movie. Katt pointed out that nothing about essay is funny, no matter the circumstances or the people involved, and it shouldn't even have been included in the script in the first place. He said he had to appeal to the movie directors to let him rewrite the script, promising he would make it 10 times funnier if the essay scene were not included. The lesson Katt was trying to bring out of this incident was that several black male entertainers like Ricky Smiley were on the film crew, but they saw nothing wrong with the scene where a black man got a sad, and this points to a much bigger problem in the industry, which involves black men being sad and victimized by industry elites. Katt said he was so pissed off about Ricky's actions that he made sure it was included in his contract that he would never work with Ricky again unless Ricky were in a dress and true to form. Ricky wore a dress in his next movie. First Sunday, Smiley responded to Katt the day after the interview was released, maintaining his previous stance. Ricky clarified that the essay scene wasn't included in the script until Katt was given the role. He also emphasized that he had no hard feelings towards Katt and it's all love from his side. But Katt was not feeling nice at all because he didn't stop at Ricky Smiley in that interview. He also had smoked for Steve Harvey, whom he believed was just as talentless as the rest of the industry. He dragged Steve for always claiming the reason why he quit stand-up comedy was that he already had 7 TV shows when he didn't.
Stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars.
Katt said the real reason why Steve quit stand-up comedy was that Katt humiliated Steve when they got into a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy by exposing Steve's baldness in front of 10,000 people. Then Katt called out Cedric, the entertainer, for stealing his jokes back in '98. At the time, Cedric allegedly thought Katt was a no-name comedian whom he could steal jokes from without anybody noticing. But the twist was Katt had already performed the joke on Bet's Comic View twice, and it had done so well that it got him a standing ovation, and they made it part of the commercial. Cedric even allegedly went backstage after the show to congratulate him on such a great performance, and then 2 years later, Cedric performed the same joke verbatim, only changing the word car to spaceship. And then when Katt confronted Cedric about it, he said the timeline of when they both told the jokes didn't line up, so he couldn't have stolen Katt's joke. Katt then pointed out that some of the elites in the comedy industry have formed a cabal that tries to bring anyone down who doesn't suck up to them, and the comics he mentioned, like Steve, Ricky and Cedric, are some of the members of that cabal. But he was not quite done with calling out comedians, because he then focused on Kevin Hart, calling him an industry plant. Katt Williams pointed out that Kevin Hart's come-up story just didn't add up because Kevin didn't have a successful career as a comic before he started getting major TV deals.
10 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got...
On top of that, in Kevin's documentary with Chris Rock, Kevin apparently claimed his comedy upbringing was on the East Coast, so it seemed sus for him to simultaneously claim he was in Los Angeles the whole time. According to Katt, the reason is that Kevin already had his deals before coming into Hollywood, because he sold his soul to Hollywood elites and in exchange, those people put him there as an industry plant. Katt has always had a problem with what he sees as Kevin's lack of standards. In the interview, he pointed out that Kevin said he wasn't gonna wear a dress on TV until they offered him a dress, and then he put it on and claimed he had made his own decision, even though he didn't think about making that decision before the industry made him to. Katt has previously talked about the trend of black male actors being forced to wear dresses on TV, saying it was part of the Hollywood goal to emasculate black men.
In a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because
Katt talked about how Harvey Weinstein once propositioned him and 3 other black guys earlier on in his career, but he refused to accept the offer. Later,
they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo! Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all?
When Katt called out Weinstein, people tried to cancel him, but look how that turned out. Katt said instances like that are the reasons why when he walks into a room full of industry elites' heads go down. They can call him an old, bitter, and jealous comedian behind his back, but to his face, they recognize him as the king of comedy because he never took shortcuts to get to where he is today. As usual, there are already people calling Katt crazy for speaking his truth, but it seems like the fans have his back on this. One fan said, "All Katt Williams receipt surfacing is so satisfying for me because people will really think you crazy cause you being honest." Another said, "I have a whole new respect for Katt that I didn't previously. I believe what he says because he has in fact been blackballed. Everyone has seen that mad respect to the man for speaking out as he is protect him at all costs." But what do you think about Katt Williams' interview? And the things he said about Kevin Hart? Comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.